Yes.
Matthew 25 says that at one point, God will bring the nations of the earth to the valley of Jehoshaphat.
Yes.
He will divide them as the sheep and the goats, and it's based upon how they treat Zion. And we just saw on December 1st, the United Nations passed 6 anti-Israel resolutions specifically regarding Jerusalem. And what was so marvelous is that President Trump, the following Tuesday, declared historically that the United States would recognize Jerusalem as Israel's rightful capital, which it is.
Yes, it is.
I really believe that so much of this intercessory prayer that's been going on in the United Nations, but from believers across the world, there's a culmination. And God's favor is coming upon this nation in Genesis 12:3, in that we are being blessed as a nation because we are blessing Israel. This act that the president made is the most significant act that any president has taken in 70 years since Harry Truman recognized the Jewish state, the first nation to do so 11 minutes after Israel declared its sovereignty. Now here Donald Trump is the first nation to say, we are going to recognize the capital and build an embassy. And they will do it. They will do it. The White House has said in a phone call that we were a part of that every single time a president has declared they will build an embassy in a country, it has been built. And they said, this is a done deal. The embassy will be built in Jerusalem. So we can be grateful.
Why are they treating the president like he wants to burn Jerusalem down or something?
Well, that's because the enemies of Israel, their number one tool that they had in their toolkit was to delegitimize Israel. Because you've heard that expression from the river to the sea. And the enemies of Israel want death and annihilation for the Jewish state and the Jewish people and the Jewish way of life. And so what the way that they do that is to delegitimize the fact that the descendants of Abraham have any hold on that particular land. We know that's not true. We know that God gave a people to a land for a purpose, to bless all the nations of the earth. And so the number one key of Israel's enemies is to delegitimize God's people, God's land, God's connection to the land for the purpose of blessing the nations. And so President Trump did a jiu-jitsu, and he pulled the rug out from under the enemies of Israel and said, you know what? This is a fake argument because guess what? Jerusalem is the capital of Israel, and we're going to announce it.
It is.
So no longer can the enemies of Israel continue to make fake statements, fake news. President Trump said, we're just going to go with reality. We're going to agree with God, and I think that that will bring blessing to this nation. I really do.